This is going to be Maradon, Foulspore Cavern, as a Brewmaster monk. So this character we saw just a little bit when I did Scarlet Halls. Let's do a whole dungeon with him. Other party members really hate this place for some reason. Anyway, yeah, so Tikkunen here, the monk I'm leveling as a Brewmaster. For some reason the name generator gave me a distinctly Finnish name for this character. So I just went with it. He's a Finnish fox. Anyway, alright, so Brewmaster. Let's actually talk about this. First, most noticeable thing with Brewmaster, global cooldown is like half the time it is normally. So I can hit a lot of buttons very quickly. That's a healing sphere over there, that little yellow thing. It's a thing a Brewmaster does. You need to move around to step into little healing spheres that spawn to recover health. I don't really like them. They force me to reposition, and the main reason I don't like them is because, like, the effect of picking them up is not very clear. It makes a noise, but they don't disappear for a long time after they make the noise and get picked up. And they have a really small detection zone. Anyway, yeah, so not a fan of the healing spheres, really. Alright, so I have Tiger Palm, my number 1. I have Energy instead of... Well, Mistweaver actually just gets to use melee abilities for free. Brewmaster and Windwalker both have to use Energy, like a rogue, kinda. So Tiger Palm has an energy cost. Blackout Strike, number 2, has no energy cost. That replaces Blackout Kick. It's my main threat generator, on single target at least. It's a real good one. Has a cooldown, of course. Number 3 is Keg Smash. That's my main threat generator on multiple targets. So just throw a barrel at everything, splash it with alcohol, I guess is what the Brewmaster does. Oh yeah, right, Celebrian Dryads got involved. So pick those up. Number 4 is Chi Burst. That's a talent that I opted into. It's this one of these rare hardcast spells that has a charge up time, but the tooltip for it specifically says this does not disable blocking or whatever it is. You know, I can still dodge while I'm casting Chi Burst. I tried to pick that up, but my health was full. Yeah, that's the other thing about those. If my health is full, I can't pick them up. And I can't always tell if that's happening or if it's like just not detecting. Creeping Sludge does a little splat every now and then and damages everything around, so if you want to do like a ranged tank sort of thing on them, it's a good thing to do. But it's kind of annoying. Number 5, Crackling Jade Lightning. Really only good for tagging faraway enemies to put them into the combat list. Not a good threat generator, not a good damage doer. I was feeling like I was going a little off the beaten path here. The routing in this place is weird. Is this where I take my wrong turn? Yes, this way. Something had felt slightly wrong about this, and it turns out it was. Alright, so then we get to button number 7, and the one that I just used. So, main defensive mechanic for a Brewmaster is super weird. So below my energy bar, I have a stagger meter. So the way this works is when I take a hit, I take a portion of it as instant damage, then another portion as damage over time. I don't think it's reduced or anything, it's just delayed. Chi Burst, by the way, just shoots a little thing out in front, and which way is the way? This place is confusing. You almost always want to bear left in here, but like that's the one place where that rule doesn't hold. If you keep on going left, you end up in the wrong spots. Anyway, yeah, so, whoops, I took a wrong turn because the place is confusing. Right, yeah, so, stagger. 7 is Ironskin Brew, which allows me to stagger more damage for a little while. Alright, so, like, let's say I was taking a hit of 1,000 damage. With stagger, just without doing anything else, maybe, I don't think these numbers are accurate, but let's say I would actually take 800 damage instantly, then another 200 over the next 5 seconds, for example. If I have Ironskin Brew active, which lasts for like 8 seconds or something, but it stacks so it can be up to 15 or 16 or something, if that is active, then instead, when I took that 1,000 hit, I would take 500 instantly, then another 500 over the next 5 seconds, or something. Then in addition to that, the little green meter under my energy bar shows me how much damage I have staggered. It also has a debuff icon, it also has a little aura around my character model, so I can see it in 3 places on screen, with varying accuracy. So the reasons that stagger is a good thing are, one, just to give some stability so the healer can, you know, get on top of starting to cast a heal spell on me so that that hit of 1,000 doesn't have to be healed instantly, you know, you get a few seconds to actually react to it. But, you know, if I build up a big stagger meter, then I'm gonna be dying no matter what I do, just because, you know, that damage is gonna happen. Even if it doesn't happen immediately, it's going to happen. So that's why I have Purifying Brew, my up 3 ability. It shares charges with Ironskin Brew. They both get 3, and recharge at whatever rate they do. But Purifying Brew deletes half of my stagger meter. So like if I drank my Ironskin Brew, then I took that 1,000 hits and had 500 in my stagger buffer, then I would immediately use Purifying Brew. I would have taken a hit of 500 and then take 250 damage over the course of stagger buffer clearing itself. It's weird and confusing and feels really strange and is hard to get a handle on. But it works. Just, I guess, general idea is, you know, keep Ironskin Brew up as much as you can. You can't get full uptime on it, and you want to save some charges for purifying, maybe. Try to use it before heavy hits are coming in if you can predict that somehow. These things burst, by the way, so when a larva dies, everybody around takes damage. I don't want to kill them all at once. Might not want to be close when they all die. Anyway, yeah, so stagger, a little confusing, kind of weird. The extreme fragility that I've experienced when playing with other brewmasters has not been as extreme when I've been playing this guy as I expected. Like, I've stayed alive most of the time. I die a couple of times as this dude, but, like, it hasn't been a major problem in the dungeons I've done with him so far. I'm definitely noticeably more fragile than, like, if I'm playing a warrior or a paladin or something, but I can hold my own. I suspect a lot of that is down to I'm trying really hard to keep Ironskin Brew up and use Purifying Brew when it's appropriate. And this character has lived, well, all of my characters are like this pretty much. He's lived his entire life in dungeons. He has always up to current gear, is getting gear upgrades constantly appropriate for his specialization. Like, his entire life is dedicated to being a really good brewmaster. So, the gearing, the talent choices, you know, I read guides for how to play this class appropriately. You know, I'm trying my best, and my best is totally okay. Like, Brewmaster is fine if you try your best, and, you know, it's hard mode as far as tanks go. Like, this is definitely the most fragile tank, but it doesn't have to be that much more fragile than, say, a Guardian Druid. Which, by the way, gets good at higher levels. I've been playing Nadalier some more as a bear, since I cannot figure out how to be a healer with her. But as a tank, I'm watching those larvae over there carefully, because they're a little close to where people are going to be standing. They might get picked up. I want to be ready for it if it happens. Yeah, so Guardian Druid feels extremely good by the time I get to, like, early to mid-40s. Brewmaster always felt good to me. I like it. I see a health bar going down. Well, I do now. Did I then? Yeah, I was pretty sure those... yeah, it's the Shadow Priest. I saw her standing kind of close to those. So larvae are happening. I'm taking my time to actually notice. When do I figure out there's something going on behind me? Not yet? Okay. Yeah, I took my time to notice that. Well, maybe she handled it okay. Now I see it. Okay. Yeah, that happened for a lot longer than I thought it had. Alright. So I'll come back. She used Psychic Scream to get them out of there. Made sense. She did fine on her own. Technically, I didn't have to come back there for that, but I want to be an attentive tank, you know. Pay attention to when people are doing things. Oh, by the way, right, so, oh, my stagger bar was yellow for a moment there. It goes all the way into the red, and my purifying brew will light up when that happens, telling me, hey, it's really time to drink this. Right, so energy bar. Playing a class that uses energy is interesting. Blackout Strike is free. Keg Smash costs 40 energy. Capacity is 100. I'm wondering if you're going to sit down and drink, because your mana's pretty empty. You were keeping... Oh, hey, we have a Restoration Druid here, actually. He's doing a great job. He knows how to play that. But I don't. When I do it, it just doesn't work. When other people do it, it does somehow. I just don't get it. It bothers me. Anyway, so Keg Smash ideally should be used even on single target every single time it's up. So I want to save up. I want to make sure I have at least 40 energy in my bar for that. I guess Tiger Palm's the only other thing I have that uses energy. I don't know how much it uses, but it's some. It has no cooldown, so I could just Tiger Palm, Tiger Palm, Tiger Palm all I want. Really, I only want to use Tiger Palm if I'm going to max out on energy. If I'm just sitting there auto-attacking instead of hitting Tiger Palm, then that's the correct choice if it lets me get a Keg Smash later. Maybe I get another energy-using ability later, but at this point I don't have one. Alright, Razor Lash. Last boss in this swing of Marathon. It's a small place. Bag of Tricks, I believe, for one thing, does not have the shorter global cooldown of my main abilities. So that's a property of the abilities, not just the specialization here. And also, I don't think it has the threat bonus that other abilities do. I get the impression Crackling Jade Lightning doesn't either. Like, it seems like it's not just, since I'm a Brewmaster, my abilities do more threat. It seems more like Keg Smash, Blackout Strike, and Tiger Palm generate more threat than the damage they do compared to other abilities. I think? Because, yeah, I've noticed, when I throw a Corrosive Vial out of my Bag of Tricks, despite being definitely my heaviest damage dealer, it's not my heaviest threat dealer. Just these little nuances. Alright, so that was Foulspore Cavern. Cool stuff. I'm sure we'll see more Brewmaster at some point. See you next time.